Hi, my name is Jay with Kick Foosball Tables. First off, I'd like to welcome you to the Kick family. Today I'll be showing you how to properly assemble your Kick Topaz 55-inch foosball table. Hope this instructional video is helpful. With no further delay, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you want to do is open your box and take a look at your contents. Then, go lay down each piece out onto your floor individually. If you are assembling your foosball table on a hard surface, I do recommend you lay down a large blanket or a large piece of cardboard. That way you don't damage your foosball table during the assembly process. Next, you want to match each part to what's inside your instruction manual. Once you've matched each part to what's inside your instruction manual, if you have noticed any missing or damaged parts, please contact Kick customer support with pictures of your shipping label, the box itself, and a damaged part. Our contact information will be listed at the end of this video. For step 1 of the assembly, we'll be attaching both of our end panels P2 to both side panels P1 using our H5 bolts and our H6 washers. What you want to make sure before attaching your end panel to your side panel is that the ball entry hole on your side panel is faced closest to the floor and that the Kick emblem that you see here is faced out. You also want to make sure that the goalie hole on your end panel is also faced closest to the floor. And go ahead and line up your end panel, making sure that both the holes on the side panel and end panel line up properly. Insert your H5 bolt and your H6 washer. And tighten. After you've attached both of your end panels to both of your side panels, we're going on to the next step, step 2, and attaching our playing field to the bottom of the assembly. Now you just want to make sure that the graphics on your playing field are face down. We'll be securing our playing field to the bottom of the assembly using our H8 screws. You will notice that there are 16 pre-drilled holes on all 4 sides of your table. You want to go ahead and line up your H8 screw over one of those holes and secure. After you completed step 2 in attaching your playing field to the bottom of the assembly, we go to the next step, step 3, and attaching our support braces P5 to the bottom of our playing field using our support brackets P6 and our H9 screw. The first thing you want to do is go ahead and attach all of your brackets to each of your support braces, to both ends of your support brace. So you just want to go ahead and line up your bracket to the end of each brace, making sure that the bracket is flush to the end of your brace on both sides. And attach your brackets using your H9 screw. After you've attached all 6 of your brackets to all 3 of your braces, we're now on the next step and attaching our braces to our side panels. For this first brace, you just want to go ahead and line it up to the center of your table and of the playing field. And the other 2 you want to space about a foot apart. We'll be attaching our support braces to our side panels using the same H9 screw. After you've completed step 3 in securing your support braces to the bottom of your table, We now go to the next step, step 4, and attaching our legs P4A and P4B using our H1 bolt, H2 washer, and our H3 nut. Now, just one way to determine that you are adding the correct leg to the correct side of the table is just go ahead and line up all 3 holes on your leg to all 3 holes on your side panel. Insert your H1 bolt and your H2 washer. Next, we are adding our H3 bolt to the back side of our bolt H1 and securing them using our Allen wrench and regular wrench. Next, we'll be attaching our leg panels P4C using our H4 bolts, H6 washers, and our H7 nut. You just want to go ahead and line up the holes on your leg panel to the holes in your legs. And insert your H4 bolt into the back of the leg. Next, add your H7 bolt to the inside of your leg panel and secure using your Allen wrench and your regular wrench. Next, we'll be attaching our leg levelers, P11, to the bottom base of our leg. This part's pretty simple. You just want to go ahead and screw down your leg leveler all the way down to the bottom base of your leg. Now, the purpose of these leg levelers is to even out your playing field during play. So that if one side is higher than the other, you can just unscrew a couple of notches to stabilize your playing field. You will also notice this rubber ring on the bottom of each leg leveler. This is to prevent your table from sliding back and forth during rough play. After you've completely completed step 4 of this assembly, we're now on the next step in turning over our table. This is a 2-person job, so you will need some assistance for this part of the assembly. What you want to make sure is that you don't rest the weight of the table on either of the legs. You just want to make sure that you turn over your table in one swift, full motion so that all the legs hit the ground at the same time. After you've had some assistance turning over your table, we're now going to the next step, step 5, and inserting our ball entry sockets P9A and ball entry cup P9B to our table using our H10 screw. So you just want to go ahead and screw in your ball entry cup into your socket and then place into the side panel hole. Now you just want to make sure that the ball entry cup is flush and level and aligned with the top of your table. Now this hole is not pre-drilled, so you will need to apply some pressure when screwing your screw. Next, we'll be attaching both of our slide scores, P10, to both ends of the table using our H11 screw. You will notice that these holes have already been scored, so you just want to go ahead and line up your slide score over those holes. And secure. After you've completed step 5 and attaching both of your slide scores and both of your ball entry cups, we can now move on to steps 6 and 7 and inserting all of our player rods and attaching each player to each rod. The most important part of assembling a foosball table is making sure that the rods are all in the correct position. So you want to carefully review the diagram located in the instruction manual prior to inserting your rods. What you want to make sure is that you add the correct amount of players per holes in the rod. You also want to make sure that there's a hole on the correct side of the table where the handles will later go. Now before we insert our rods and attach each player to each rod, I'm going to go ahead and show you an already assembled table and explain to you the differences between a one-man goalie versus a three-man goalie setup, and the difference between a counterbalance men versus uniform men. One-man goalie versus a three-man goalie setup. Now with this table we have the option to have either a one-man goalie or a three-man goalie setup. Most beginners and some others prefer a three-man goalie setup because there's more defense around the goal, making it harder to score, giving the user more control over the field. Or let's prefer a more fast-paced one-man goalie setup. It's completely up to you. If you are looking for a one-man goalie setup, instead of having the other two outer men on the goalie rod, you replace them with the 4 black stop rings. Next, you can optionally place the white field lining tape on both sides of the table to prevent any dead spots, if any at all. Be careful once you lay the tape down. It's hard to pick back up without leaving any smudges. Next, place the 4 green triangle corner ramps you received on all 4 corners of the table. Then secure your ramp using the 4 H8 screws that were provided. Then cover the hole using the 4 green plugs. Counterbalance men versus uniform men. With your table, you receive 2 full sets of different style of foosball men, 1 set of uniform hard plastic men, and 1 set of ABS counterbalance men. The uniform men are the foosball men used mostly by beginners. If you keep the players on the rod in a horizontal position, they will just fall back down into a vertical position. Or if you keep on spinning the rod, they will just continue on spinning. Whereas the more experienced players prefer the counterbalance men. Counterbalance men mean that there is a weight in the head equal to the weight of the toe. So unlike the uniform men, they will not fall back down into a vertical position if left horizontally, or in any other position. They also do not keep on spinning like the other uniform men. This lets the user position the foosball men to their liking or technique. Again, this is totally up to you. When securing your players to your rod, you want to note that there's a bumper, a washer. Then you want to add the correct amount of players per holes in the rod. Then add another washer and another bumper. Then you want to complete by sliding through the second hole. Alright, and then when securing your player to your rod, we will be using our C6 bolt and our C7 nut. You just want to go ahead and line up the hole on the player to the hole on the rod. Insert your C7 nut. Into the back of the player. Insert your C6 bolt to the chest of the player and tighten. After you've inserted all of your rods and attached each player to each rod, now on the next step, step 6, attaching our handles P7 using our H12 screw. So you just want to go ahead and line up the hole in the handle to the hole in the rod. Insert your H12 screw and tighten. One quick note, these handles are really high quality. Most other companies use really cheap rubber slide-on handles. Also, these rods are semi-hollow, so they are durable enough to rough play, yet light enough that the player have full control over the rod. If you need any rod lubricant, please contact Kick and we'll send you a free complimentary bottle. Next, you want to slide your rubber caps P8 to the other end of the rod. Congratulations! We are now officially finished assembling our Kick Topaz 55-inch foosball table. You are now free to enjoy your table with your friends and family. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please visit us at www.kickfoosballtables.com or email us at support@kickfoosballtables.com.